Not every K-drama actor you love was born in Korea. Some of the biggest names in Korean entertainment started their lives in places that would surprise you. These are 12 K-drama actors born outside Korea who made it to the very center of the K-drama industry. If you thought you knew their backgrounds, this list is going to make you look twice. Cho Tae Kwan. Toronto.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jasper Cho, and you saw me on Descendants of the Sun, now as Daniel in Dutch. Thank you so much for all the love you've been giving me.
That's where Cho Tae Kwan's story starts, long before the military tension of Descendants of the Sun made him one of the most memorable supporting players of that drama. Growing up in Canada gave him something that Korean conservatory training doesn't typically produce, that specific ease of someone who has always had to read a room in more than one cultural language. You can feel it on screen. The approachability, the slight sense that he's operating just outside the standard K-drama frequency, that's not a performance choice, that's Toronto. But if his Canadian roots are relatively understated, the next entry made her international background one of the defining qualities of her entire public image. Tiffany Young.
It was definitely about my experiences with relationships gone bad, and ultimately that I'm human and I'm vulnerable and I'm emotional and I react badly to heartbreak. And
born in San Francisco and raised with the West Coast sensibility that never fully left her, she arrived in Korea as a teenager to train as an idol, which meant navigating one of the most demanding cultural transplant experiences the entertainment industry has. The years of SM entertainment training, the language acquisition, the performance discipline, all of it built on top of a foundation that was fundamentally Californian. Her transition into acting is where that background started to show in a different way.
I don't think it's a certain look or a photo or a product. It really is a mindset where it's like choice.
The grounded confidence she carries on screen, the sense that she's not performing a version of herself but simply being one, reads as someone who has spent years understanding what it means to be Korean while never fully losing track of where she started. Krystal Jung.
And I just miss the weather, the people here. They're always welcoming, and also the food scene here is very good.
Also born in San Francisco to Korean parents, she moved to Korea as a child and trained under SM Entertainment before her FX debut. The cold princess aesthetic that she became famous for, that precise, slightly detached quality that reads as effortlessly cool rather than emotionally distant, has roots that make sense when you know the origin.
I just immediately knew, my instinct told me immediately that this was something that I was waiting for, something that can be a new chapter in my career.
There's a particular self-containment that comes from growing up across two cultures and learning to move between them without fully belonging to either. She didn't manufacture that quality, she lived it. Her acting has carried the same signature. She plays close to the chest, rarely over-explaining through emotion, letting the camera find what's underneath. It's not a style she learned, it's a worldview she brought with her. Lee Dong-ha. This is the entry that tends to catch people completely off guard. Born in Italy to Korean parents, he carries a quality on screen that's hard to categorize, a level of physical intentionality, a certain rhythm in his movement and stillness that sits slightly outside the standard Korean drama register. Fans who discovered his background on forums reported the kind of "wait, actually" reaction that sends you immediately to Wikipedia to confirm. The Italian origin hasn't been leaned into by casting directors in any obvious way, which is either a missed opportunity or a sign that he's simply been good enough to work without needing the novelty angle. Either way, a K-drama actor born in Italy is not a sentence you expect to say, and here we are, Phillip.
I just don't get it. I don't understand how they can just go around making laws this way. Most of all, I don't understand how they can just go and arrest Majin like that.
If you watched Secret Garden, you know exactly what's being described here. English dialogue that actually sounded like English, delivered by someone who didn't need a language coach standing just off camera. Born and raised in the United States, he brought a native fluency to his scenes that made the international moments in Korean dramas finally feel credible rather than performative. He stepped back from the spotlight in the years after Secret Garden, which the industry felt as a specific kind of absence, warm, steady, the kind of screen presence that doesn't announce itself but anchors every scene it's in. Fans still bring up his character. The void he left is very particular and hasn't quite been filled. Now, quick pause. Which actor on this list surprised you the most? Drop them in the comments right now. I want to see who comes up. Teo Yoo.
Hallo, mein Name ist Theo Yoo und ich bin in Köln geboren und aufgewachsen und habe auch in Köln mein Abitur zu Ende gemacht. Danach habe ich meine Schauspielausbildung gemacht, und zwar in London und in New York.
Just being so grateful that as a kind of international actor, because I'm from Europe, but my base is in South Korea.
His real name is Kim Chi-hun. He was born on April 11, 1981 in Cologne to Korean parents who had emigrated under a West German labor agreement, his father working as a coal miner, his mother as a nurse. Growing up in a working-class immigrant household in Cologne, surrounded mostly by children of other immigrants and refugees from North Africa, Eastern Europe, and the Middle East, he dreamed of becoming a professional basketball player. He trained at Hanyang University's basketball camp every summer from age 15. He was scouted by a professional team. Then in 1998, he tore the cruciate ligament in one knee. In 1999, he tore the cruciate ligament in the other. His doctor told him he could have lost the ability to walk.
It's coming from Korean culture and being like a trailblazer, that's like the most important thing.
That was the end of basketball. He moved to New York, enrolled at the Lee Strasberg Theatre and Film Institute, then continued at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London. He moved to Seoul in 2009, partly because he had fallen in love with Korean cinema, and partly because in the West, every role he auditioned for was a delivery man or a laundromat owner's son. He wanted something more than a stereotype. In Seoul, he met Korean artist Nikki S. 11 years his senior, about to premiere her first feature at MoMA. He had no idea who she was. They married in 2007. She helped open the trajectory of his career. In 2024, for his performance in Past Lives, Teo Yoo became the first Korean male actor ever nominated for a BAFTA Best Actor award. Korean is his third language. He said in an interview, "I cannot bear to be comfortable. The whole career proves it." Daniel Henney.
You know, for me, I'm a perfectionist, so the challenge in general inspires me. I know acting is a line of work that you can't possibly perfect. It's something you're always chasing.
Born in Carson City, Michigan, to a Korean mother and American father, he arrived in Korean entertainment without the conservatory training, without the idol pipeline, without the standard origin story. What he had instead was a sincerity that read immediately on camera, a warmth that didn't feel performed because it wasn't. The what you see is what you get quality that his early fans noticed was simply who he was.
You know I get to have 12 hours of sleep. I mean, performance-wise, that makes you, just makes it a little bit better.
He became, in some ways, the template for what followed, the actor born outside Korea who brought something to the screen that the system hadn't quite produced on its own. His early work showed an industry learning how to use a face and a presence that existed slightly outside its usual frame. He figured out the frame before the industry did. That tends to happen first. Moon Ga-young.
Hallo, ich bin die Ga-young. Heute Abend geht Find Me in Your Memory auf Sendung. Ich hoffe, das gefällt es. Vielen Dank. Tschüss.
Born in Karlsruhe, Germany, and raised there until around age 10, she returned to Korea speaking German alongside Korean, and later added English, making her fluent in 3 languages at an age when most people are still figuring out one. The sharp, slightly analytical quality she brings to interviews isn't an affectation. It's what growing up across 2 languages and 2 cultures actually produces. She's shown more range than the roles she's been given credit for, capable of sweet rom-com warmth in True Beauty and something considerably more complex underneath.
Mach dir keine Sorgen, 걱정하지 말래요. Ich werde alles tun, dir zu helfen. 내가 너를 도와주겠다. Alles wird besser. 다 괜찮아질 거야. Versprochen, 약속할게.
The German years gave her a way of processing characters from the outside in rather than the inside out, which is a very specific kind of gift for an actor. The roles are starting to catch up to what she can actually do. And if her international background gave her a specific analytical edge, the next actors made her something the industry hadn't quite seen before. Ye Seul.
Started a YouTube channel. It's been a month, and it's been really fun. We're shooting right now as well, but it's been so much fun.
Born in Los Angeles, raised in California until her mid-teens, she arrived in Korean entertainment carrying a specific kind of boldness that the submissive heroine mold simply had no room for. The ownership she brings to a scene, the refusal to wait for permission to be the center of it, is very particular and very Californian, and it made her an icon to exactly the audience that was tired of watching women on screen ask for things they should have just taken.
Try to work out consistently because I'm an actor, so I always need to keep my body fit. But, in the long term, it's really hard to work out consistently. You have done it before, obviously.
The two Western criticisms she received early in her career was, in hindsight, just a complaint that she wasn't performing the version of femininity the industry expected. She wasn't. She's never pretended otherwise. That's the whole thing. Sung Hee. Born in the United States and raised across multiple cities before returning to Korea, she carries what's best described as a global citizen quality. A slight detachment that creates space for the viewer to read into her characters rather than being told how to feel about them. In While You Were Sleeping, that quality worked particularly well. The ability to make a difficult character sympathetic without over-explaining the sympathy. The movement between cultures left a specific mark on how she inhabits a scene. She doesn't rush to fill silence. She lets moments land on their own. That's not something you learn in drama school. That's something that happens when you've learned to read a room in more than one language. So Hyun.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you today?
I'm good.
Enjoying the nice warm weather today?
Yeah, so good.
Born in Australia and brought to Korea while still very young, she is one of the most quietly remarkable origin stories on this list because she has been in Korean entertainment since childhood, growing up in front of audiences who never had reason to think about where she started. The transition from child star to leading lady is one of the hardest things an actor can do in any industry. She did it without losing the spark that got her there. The Australian origin surfaces occasionally in interviews, a slight ease with English, a comfort in cross-cultural settings, but it's never been the main story. The main story is the career itself, which has outlasted most of her contemporaries and shows no signs of slowing. Whatever those early Australian years gave her, it held. And then there's number one, who has the most unexpected origin story on this entire list, Park Solomon, Lomon. Born on November 11, 1999, in Tashkent, to a Korean father and a mother of Koryo Saram descent, ethnic Koreans who have lived in Central Asia since the Soviet era. The family then moved to Russia, where he spent part of his childhood before relocating to South Korea in elementary school. He attended middle school, high school, and graduated from Apgujeong High School, the same school as BTS's RM and Suga, without ever feeling, as he has said himself, that his upbringing was unusual. He holds dual South Korean and Uzbek citizenship. Before acting, he wanted to be a b-boy, then a K-pop idol. He started acting in 2014 at 15, playing minor roles for years before All of Us Are Dead arrived in 2022, and he gained 2 million Instagram followers in under a week. For the Chinese drama Lookism, he learned Mandarin and sat the official HSK proficiency exam. He speaks Korean, Russian, Uzbek, Chinese, and English, 5 languages, accumulated across 5 countries before the age of 25. When asked about his Uzbek roots in a 2023 interview, he said, "It is true that I am from Uzbekistan, but I am a descendant of Koreans, so I am Korean." He said he was grateful that the people of Uzbekistan also support him. The word he used was thankful, not complicated. His journey is complicated enough on its own. Which actor on this list has the origin story that surprised? If you want to see more of where some of these careers went after their Korean breakthrough, go check out Kdrama actors who suddenly disappeared from Korea. Where are they now? It's the natural follow-up to this one.